Hi, morning here. Hope you're all well. Just at this beautiful place at Springbrook today. Just thought I'd come and share some stories. So when I enter beautiful land that has good energy, nature flowing, etc., I like to look at this. How beautiful. I like to do a little prayer before I enter, so I just connect with the Holy Spirit. And I'd like to give thanks to the keepers of the land. Much gratitude and thanks. And when I've done that over the years, some beautiful things happen. So I just wanted to talk today about the importance of connecting with nature. And in particular, having reverence for it. Because God gave us these places, even though all the crap things that we're going through with the organised harassment and etc., we still have this, and it kind of gives you more attunement and appreciation for these things, You learn to find beauty in everything you see, and coming in with a heart of gratitude. In particular, here in Australia, we have such a beautiful, Indigenous history, and I just find myself really connecting into that. And the Indigenous here are the oldest people on earth, and they know how to live with nature, in harmony with nature, and they have deepest respect for it. They also connect in with their elders, and some of the Indigenous stories are just amazing. Anyway, so I'd just like to tell you about some little stories. So some of the things that have happened to me when I've connected in. So as I just did, I always connect to the Holy Spirit, and then I give thanks with deepest respect and regards and thanks to the keepers of the land. And quite often I get instant answers. So for instance, I walk this place called the Headland, which has just a very special vibration, and I just love the place, but I go there quite often, and I always pay my respects when I enter. So one time I walked in there, parked my car in an area. I'm very random too. I just go to where I feel I need to go, like I'm being called to go. So I walked in there on this particular day, and I did my usual prayer of thanks and gratitude. And as I walked through, I got to the end, turned around. It was a beautiful little walk. Bumped into a few people, but other than that, I had it to myself, which, is lovely because it can be gang stalking otherwise. And so it was good. I wasn't being followed that day, so I had some peace and was really connected in. It's really foggy here today, but you can see how beautiful it is. There's a great big valley down there, which is just covered in mist at the moment, so you can't really see anything. But still beautiful. Yeah, you can see all the way to the ocean from here, and I'm way up in the mountain at the moment. This place is called Springbrook. There's the waterfall. Really pretty place. Yeah, so as I walked back through, after giving my prayer of thanks, I noticed a plastic bag laying on the side of the trail, with thank you written on it. So I thought, oh, cool. You know, it's like an answer to a thank you back. And kept walking. And of course, being who I am, I thought, oh, I better go and pick that bag up because a turtle might swallow it or something. So walked back, grabbed the bag, and noticed there was something in the bag. And it turned out to be a little coaster with a kangaroo on it. So that was pretty neat. And then I thought, I'm going to frame that. Because I have little special memories like that I like to keep. Little tokens from the universe, from God, the Most High. And from the elders of the areas, so, and the keepers of the land. So I did that, and then popped that in my pocket, walked back to the car park, and there's a car there pulled up just opposite me with the number plate Cinderella. So I just found that funny, you know. I am a bit like Cinderella from the ashes, and rising from the ashes, just like Cinderella. The Cinderella story also has quite a few parallels to the person undergoing this organised harassment. So I found that a beautiful little nudge from the universe as well. I'll put those photos, the photos of the thank you bag and the little kangaroo thing, up on my community page. But yeah, so funny. Anytime, there's been quite a few times that I've had incidents like that. One time many years ago, I was grieving my mother's death. I hadn't had a chance to when she died, as I was in a really bad life. Basically running for my life from a very abusive man, living in women's refuges with my children, and just in complete survival mode. So had no time to grieve, and so I took it upon myself to go up to a beautiful mountain here called Mount Wollumben, and I did the usual. As I walked in, you know, I gave thanks to the keepers of the land, and as I walked in, I seen this little bird. And when my mother passed over, I had one of her favourite sayings was, "A little birdie told me so." And so when I see, in particular, little woolly wagtail birds, I often know it's a sign from her. And so there's this little woolly wagtail, and it's just, you know, dancing in front of me, and then it hops from tree to tree, and I decide to follow the little bird. So it takes me up to this area where, hello Currawong, can you see him? He's not scared of me at all. There he goes. You see him? Hey, beautiful. You're pretty. You're a pretty one. So I followed it up, and it ended up guiding me up to this little lookout area where there was a bunch of bananas and strawberries sitting there. Now, the odd thing about that was, where I'd gone to grieve my mother, I took a retreat to the base of Mount Wollumben, Mount Warning, and on the way down I had packed all my, because there's no shops nearby, so I'd packed all my stuff. I was vegetarian at the time. I eat a bit of chicken and fish now, but I was completely veggie back then. And I had bags with all my veggies and fruit in it, and I'd forgotten to take that bag. So I was doing this thing called trauma release exercises at the time, and was in a lot of prayer. and all of that kind of thing. So I was a bit upset when I got there and there was no fruit and veg. But there you go, God provided. But the end of that story was even stranger, because what happened was, some years later, I decided to take another retreat. So I took a weekend away to this place called the it's run by the Krishnas. It's called Krishna Village. And I went there on a 2-day break. And during lunch one day, I got talking to one of the devotees. And I was telling him the story. I don't know, he'd started talking to me about nature and how it provides and etc. Very nice people, the Krishnas, you know. And I said to him, I told him the story of what had happened about, you know, how I'd found those bananas, you know, the big bunch of bananas and strawberries, and how the little bird showed me to it, etc. And he just smiled at me and he said, because the Christian village is not far from Wollumben, the mountain that all that had happened on. And he smiled at me and he said, you know, the devotees, they go up there and they leave offerings to Krishna. And he and I both laughed, and I said, oh my goodness, I took Krishna's food. It was just hilarious. We were just cackling. But he said, I'm sure Krishna would have wanted you to have the fruit. So, yeah, so that's just another little beautiful thing. So beautiful things happen. Connect to nature, and you talk to nature and nature will talk back. Another time I was up at the headland, and it was just coming on dusk, and I started walking through into the headland, and just after I said my prayer of thanks to the keepers of the land, an owl flew down the grassy headland part and brushed straight over my head, actually touching the top of my head with its wing, and went and landed in a tree directly above me. And I was blown away, you know. It was so beautiful, and the timing of it, straight after I'd said my prayer. And but I also had instant intuition to not enter the headland at that time, because I sensed that it was not telling me, but you know, I had a sense that I was being warned of danger ahead. And I did find out that some women had been messed with up there later on. So that's just a few examples for today. There's been many in my life. On the community page, I'll put some photos up of the little kangaroo coaster that I had, and the thank you bag. Yeah, and the car with Cinderella. I think I've already put that up with the car of Cinderella, but yeah, that's the whole story behind that car. So it's just amazing how the universe speaks to you, you know, through nature. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that little chat, and enjoy the rest of your day, evening, whatever it is where you're at. God bless you all. I also wanted to say, not only do you love nature, but nature loves you. So if you can, get out into it, because it's really healing. I just read a study they did on the Humboldt houseplant the other day, and they attach this equipment to it to pick up its vibration from when you're in the house to when you leave the house and when you're returning. And it was just amazing. The houseplant can pick up when you're returning to the home. Within a 2-kilometre range, it sends out excited vibration, because you nurture it. You're its nurturer, you know. And yeah, isn't that amazing? So imagine, like, the extent when you go into a forest, you know, where you're surrounded by plants and trees. And not only are you feeding them with your love and admiration and respect, but they're feeding you. Yeah. God made the plants and the trees. God made us. Win-win. Anyway, that's it for now. God bless you all.